Hi guys, good morning, good evening, bonjour, bonsoir, if it is any of those times for you. So this video will be 10 things people say about kids with locks, concerning kids with locks. However you want to put it, dealing with kids with locks, it seems to be a controversial thing. I didn't think it would be when I locked my son's hair, but it turns out to be. So we're going to talk about some of the things that are said. Oh yeah, and by the way, my last video you guys said, did I attach my locks back? Nope. These are just braids. I know you guys saw the slick down video. I'm not about to do that every day. It's cute. It's cute, it's fast. However, it's not an everyday thing. Okay, back to the topic. Yes, people say a lot about kids with locks. I personally have heard some. I could make a video an hour long about this topic, just naming things or listing things that have been said. But in this video, I'm just gonna list 10 for the sake of the video not being too long. I'm just gonna list the top 10. I'm gonna say what is the general opinion or statement, and then I am going to respond to it in my own words. Number 1, when are you gonna cut them? Now this one is kind of weird to me because I'm usually wondering when that person's gonna pay a bill. When am I gonna get my child support check from that person who is not the parent of my child, but they're trying to be, by asking that question? So yeah, I'm always a little confused by this question because I don't remember having a child with whoever is asking, and I don't think that's the first thing you should say about someone's hair. When are you gonna cut it? Like, who? Nobody says that to anybody. That's not really polite, and that's not your place to ask someone that. Number 2, let the child choose. Let him make that decision. Actually, my 7-year-old did choose to have locks. He asked to have locks like me when I had locks. So now he is 3 years into his lock journey. So yeah, he chose to have locks. And my 2-year-old, of course, not old enough to choose. However, when he was born, I had locks, his dad had locks, his brother had locks. So by default, he has locks. He didn't get to choose. Locks is probably, or the hairstyle you choose for your child, is probably one of the least permanent decisions you can make for a child. Nobody ever says let the child choose when it comes to who the child's father is going to be. The child getting their ears pierced, the type of clothes the child wears, the type of food the child eats, where the child lives, the parent's ability to take care of said child. Nobody says let the child choose in those situations. But when it comes to locks, though, let the child choose. Number 3, now this one's specific to my son. I've heard it a lot on YouTube, never in real life, because people who know my son in real life know what he looks like and that he has had the same hairline since he came out of my womb. But yeah, I get this a lot on here. You're messing up his hairline. You're pulling his hairline back. You're doing it too tight. First of all, he's 7 years old, but he has been raised from very young to be extremely decisive and expressive. I know seeing a child on YouTube prompts people to have opinions and feel like they are concerned for the child, in which case I ask that you donate to his college fund because he is wanting to be an engineer. So yes, let me know if you'd like to donate if you're that concerned about him. Yeah, he's fine. His hairline has been the same since he came out of my womb. It's not being pulled back. I'm not pulling it too tight. And if that's the case, I do his father's hair. I've been doing his father's hair for the same amount of time I've done his. His father's hairline's not pulled back. But yes, my son is not, he's not a pushover. He's gonna say, "Mommy, that's too tight, take it out." He's allowed to do that. I'm not that parent that's like, "Oh yeah, you know, you gotta do whatever I say. I don't care if it hurts." No, tell me if it hurts. Tell me if you don't like it. Tell me if you're uncomfortable. Tell me if you're hurting. I'm that parent. He's allowed to say, "Mommy, no, stop." He's allowed to do that. So no. Number 4, he's too young for locks, or he's too young for that. At what age is hair appropriate? Because it's essentially locks are hair, just in a different form. So at what age is hair appropriate for a child? Number 5, I get this a lot from my island people. Believe it or not, people think island people, all of us have dreads, all of us love dreads. No, I get the most crap from the island people. Number 5 is their favorite thing to say. People will associate him with thuggery. They don't say it like that, but I'm just paraphrasing for you guys. To that I say, people associate a lot of things with thuggery. Why is locks the only thing we're trying to change? People associate certain skin tones with thuggery. People associate hair types with thuggery. People associate certain accents with thuggery. People associate a lot of things that are non-related to thuggery. Locks isn't the only thing, so yeah. And not only that, I'm not raising children who will care about what people think about them. I'm raising children who will love themselves, express themselves in an appropriate manner that they see fit. Now, number 6 is pretty unsolicited, but I get it more often than not. Oh, I love your son's hair. I would do that to my daughter, but it's not girly. Saying this to a woman with locks. And to that I respond, if I had a daughter, she would have locks. She sure would. And locks express whoever's head they're on. Man, woman, girl, boy, it doesn't matter. I don't associate locks with a certain gender. People think, and this is actually a common thought process, that locks are masculine. And I told you guys at the beginning of my lock journey, my first lock journey, people thought I was a lesbian because I locked my hair. And it's like, no, what does my hair have to do with my sexuality? Nothing at all. I think I made a whole video about that. And I ended up making it private or deleting it. But yeah, ridiculous. Number 7, this mostly comes from men who don't send me a child support check. He needs a haircut. Little boys should have short hair. He needs a haircut and he needs a line-up. Okay, first of all, sir, where's my child support check? I didn't get it. I didn't get it from you this month. I did not see you on the list. No, little boys are not synonymous with short hair. That is the very problematic thought process that has little girls thinking little boys are not supposed to have long hair. People who grow hair can have long or short hair if they choose. Number 8, you're forcing him to have locks because you have locks. This one's kind of an easy one to respond to because I no longer have locks. My son watched me cut my locks. He actually saw several people around him in their lock journey, and he still wanted his locks. That actually prompted him to tell me not to cut his locks because he thought he was next. My son has a choice. Whenever he feels like he needs to cut his locks, we're cutting them off. But he says he wants to grow them all the way down to his legs. We'll see about that because, you know, kids change their minds. But I'm going to honor what he's saying right now, which is he wants to keep his locks. So, no, he doesn't have it because I have it. And he's not being forced to have it. He's 7 years old. He's extremely decisive and expressive. So stop telling people to cut their son's locks, their son or daughter's locks. Actually, I know someone who was out in public with her son, and a random man walks up to her and says, you need to get him a haircut. Excuse me, who are you? Did you father this child? Who are you? It was mind-blowing. Number 9. His hair will keep him from getting a job. What? Oh, I mean, I have nothing for that. I have nothing for that. I have nothing for that. Because it's so stupid. And that brings me to 10. His hair will limit his opportunities, which kind of ties into 9. And I'm going to just talk about this a little bit. Limitations exist, and this is one thing I teach my 7-year-old, yes, 7-year-old, and I'm currently teaching my 2-year-old and 1-year-old. Limitations that exist, you let them exist. If your hair can limit you, that's a problem. And I'm not saying there aren't discriminatory laws in place or discriminatory mindsets in place to limit someone who has dreads. Definitely. However, if you let something limit you, or you let something like your hair keep you from doing something, you didn't really want to do it in the first place. There are so many factors in this world, in this society, that will limit you just as a black person, somebody who decides to wear their hair a certain way. If you're gonna let just hair stop you from doing what you want to do, or however you choose to wear your hair stop you from being a happy person, a successful person, then you would let anything stop you. It's not just hair. So yeah, that's 10 of the crap things people say when it comes to kids having locks. It's ridiculous to me, first of all, that people think that you need their permission to do something for or with your child. And it's always the whole culture of being concerned about someone's child only when you can formulate an opinion for whatever reason really doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to care about my child, I'm going to need that to be legit. You need to be concerned all across the board. And if you think you being concerned about what he eats, where he goes to school, the food that he eats, if you think the clothes that he wears, if you think that's a little inappropriate and that's out of your pay grade or your lane, then apply that to your opinions that you project onto other people's children. That's out of your lane too. Your opinion does not matter at all. And a lot of people will respond to me with, oh, I'm just sensitive about kids and blah, 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 blah. Okay, go have some and be sensitive about them. Don't be sensitive about mine. People cross lines and they somehow think that they're entitled to have a say in what happens with your child when they don't. So yeah, that's it. This has been 10 things people say. So if you guys have kids with locks, what are some things that people have said and have just boggled your mind? They even had the thought to say something like that to you or your child. Leave it in the comments and let's discuss. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. A video every day in December. Bye guys.